I'm Jeff, and I want to talk to you about ringworm. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for about 30 years now, since just after the first UFC, in the early 90s. And in that time, I have had ringworm a few times. I have seen other people get ringworm quite a few times, and I've seen what works and I've seen what doesn't work, and I want to share it with you. So I want to talk about what ringworm is, what causes it, what you can do to prevent it, what you should do if you get it, what you shouldn't do, all the do's and don'ts about ringworm when it comes to grappling. So first things first, what is ringworm? First of all, it doesn't involve a worm in any way. It's actually a fungus that grows on your skin, and if you don't treat it right, it grows and grows and grows. It can be a few places on your body. If it's on your foot, it's called athlete's foot. If it's on your groin, it's called jock itch. And everywhere else, it's ringworm. And like I said, if you don't treat it, it starts off about the size of a penny. It's super itchy, and then it grows and grows. The middle fades, and then it turns into a ring that just grows and grows. And I've seen it be as big as like a frisbee, The first time I saw ringworm was in the mid-90s, and I was training jiu-jitsu downtown, and this guy showed up who just had rings all over him. Like, it was rings over rings over rings, and we didn't know what it was. And so we all just trained, and then surprise, surprise, I got a ring, I got some ringworm right here. And unfortunately, I passed that off to I gave that to the girl I was seeing at the time. So she got ringworm. I won't tell you where on her body she got it, but she was not happy about it, and that relationship came to a conclusion right after that. What causes ringworm? Like I said, ringworm is a fungus. And like any fungus, it grows in conditions where, it's really humid, there's no sunshine, it's very stuffy, so to speak, like no fresh air, Perhaps the worst ringworm I've ever seen in my whole life was, I don't know, 8 years ago, I was refereeing a jiu-jitsu tournament, and there was a guy wearing these big boots, these big construction boots, waiting to compete, right? And it's very common, people who are not on the mat are wearing footwear of some kind. Usually it's sandals or flip-flops or whatever. But this guy was wearing boots, which I thought was strange. And he takes his boots off to come on the mat to compete, and I see that on his ankle, this guy's got the nastiest patch of ringworm I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's about the size of a mango, and it's about that thick off his ankle. And it's like red and flaky and just nasty, And so I called over the tournament director, and we said to the guy, dude, you cannot compete with that. It is not cool. And he didn't even know what it was, But those are the exact circumstances, under which ringworm can develop and get real bad. It's because this guy's a construction worker all day. He's shoveling gravel or something, and in his boot there's no fresh air, there's no sunshine. It gets real sweaty in there, and things get funky in a bad way. And actually, I trained at a club, I won't say which one, but I trained at a club years ago that was a lot like that guy's construction boot. It was like, to get there, you went down some stairs and then turned a corner and went down some more stairs. Not that there's stairs in a boot, but, it was deep in the earth, away from fresh air, away from sunshine. There was a door you opened and closed, and I called it the fungus dungeon because, like, me and everyone else, we would get ringworm I don't know, every couple months, and then we would treat it, it would go away, and then 2 or 3 months later, we would get it again. You know what I mean? But the point I'm making is that ringworm grows in conditions where fungus grows, no sunshine, no fresh air, very humid, Curiously, when I was training in Rio de Janeiro, both times I was training in Rio de Janeiro, I didn't see anybody get anything like that. And I think it's because down there, a lot of the academies, there's big windows that are wide open. There's not even glass on them. You know what I mean? Sometimes some of the academies don't even have a wall, and there's like the air is blowing in. You know what I mean? And it's like it's hot, but it's not. People are sweating, but it doesn't get like. At least the clubs I was at didn't get like crazy humid. There was a ton of sunshine, a ton of fresh air, and even though people were sweating, it wasn't becoming that kind of funky mushroom farm environment. You know what I mean? So those are conditions you wish to avoid, both in a club and in the way you dress. So what does ringworm do? Like I said, it starts off about the size of a penny, and it's really super itchy. And then that will fade, and it grows and grows and grows and gets to be a larger and larger ring. If it gets into your hair, it can cause a spot where hair doesn't grow anymore. Like I said, I had it on my chin years ago, and now can't really see it because my beard's growing a little bit. But there's a ring there where hair doesn't grow. And if you don't treat it properly, it can cause scarring. Not unlike a cigarette burn or whatever, except obviously larger. And if I haven't mentioned this before, it's wicked contagious. Like when you get ringworm, you have to be not touching people, not sharing towels, not be like, hey, you want to wear my shirt? None of that business, And how long it remains contagious for is subject to debate. I mean, I've seen some websites that say it's only contagious for a couple days, but those weren't jiu-jitsu websites where they're talking about people wrestling people and soaking each other in one another's sweat. You know what I mean? So, yeah. What can you do to prevent getting ringworm? So, first of all, if you're doing a grappling art, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, maybe judo, something like that, you want to shower immediately after class to get the other people's sweat off of you. In case that didn't sound obvious enough, you want to shower right after class, And if you're using the club shower, there's a shower in the academy, you probably want to wear flip-flops or Crocs or whatever, because you can actually get athlete's foot in public showers if you didn't already know that. And like I said, athlete's foot and jock itch and ringworm are all the same thing. You know what I mean? So if you're going to have a public shower, wear flip-flops or Crocs. Otherwise, if you go home, shower immediately, get other people's sweat off you. And always, always wash your gi or kimono or uniform or whatever. Anything you're wearing, take it off, wash it after class before you wear it again. Don't just put it in a zip, a bag and let it get all funky in there and then put it on again. And then you're the stinky guy going to class. Do not be that guy, And if you have any tape wrapped around your wrist, your ankles, your fingers, all that business, don't just take that off, throw it away, if you're wearing any neoprene, joint supports or any of that stuff, wash it. Don't let it get all funky. So shower after class, wash your gi, take off tape. Oh, another good tip is use an anti-dandruff shampoo. This one I get, it has something in it called selenium, and it's really strong, and it is really good for helping your body shed. You shed your skin like a snake, so to speak, which is good because ringworm likes to get into the little cracks and crevices of your skin. And if you take this, you can feel that all the excess unwanted skin, it is coming off you because this has some kind of acid in it or something. I don't know. I'm no dermatologist or doctor, but I'm telling you, You use this, and it is like you can feel, okay, I am shedding my, you know, excess skin, which is really good because it doesn't give ringworm a place to hide. Otherwise, on a microscopic level, your skin is like the caves of Afghanistan, and the ringworm can be, getting in there and hanging out. Oh yeah, and don't roll with stinky people. You know what I mean? If someone comes over and says, "Hey, do you want to roll?" It's just like you know, when a lady that's smoking and has a glass eye comes over to you at the pub and says, "Do you want to dance?" No, thank you. It's your body. It's your choice who you get funky with, either on the dance floor or in the jiu-jitsu academy or whatever. You know what I mean? And you don't have to like rip into them and be like, "Take off, you stinky bastard." You know what I mean? Just be like, "No, thank you." You know? And then if you have a problem with somebody because of a hygiene thing, go and talk to your professor, go and talk to the owner of the club and be like, "Listen, so-and-so is a nice guy, but their level of hygiene makes me very uncomfortable." You know what I mean? They shouldn't smell like that. Or if you see like a bump on them, like a red, you can be like, "Hey, what's rocking on your neck there?" And say, "Oh, it's a spider bite or it's a barbecue burn." Those are two things I've heard, by the way, years ago. People were always saying, "Oh, I got bit by a spider." No, I burned myself on a barbecue. On your neck? How do you get a barbecue burn on your neck? Or I'm not sure that's, and it's an itchy barbecue burn. I didn't realize burns were itchy. Anyway, on the concept of rash guards and spats. As long as you're not rocking a rash, you're probably okay to wear it. But the moment you start rocking something funky, a rash guard is not designed to conceal some kind of potentially contagious skin thing. You know what I mean? It's not called a rash concealer. It's not a Trojan horse kind of thing. It's like, hey, hide your nastiness under this cloak of, So, what if you get ringworm? One, tell your coach. Tell the guy that is running the show, "Hey, just FYI, I got ringworm." Or even if you think you have it, if it's like a red bump, it's itchy, call your coach. Be like, "Hey," or professor, or whatever you want to call him. "Hey, I got ringworm. I'm going to be taking, a week, 2 weeks off. And it depends on what you're taking. We'll talk about that in a minute. You know what I mean? Don't go to class. All right? It's better to take a week or two off and then go back to an academy full of friendly, healthy people who are happy to train with you. You know? Anyway, there's my little tirade. Tell your coach, don't go to class. Oh yeah, go to a doctor. Go to a pharmacist. You know? Don't go to like a witch doctor or some wacky person that's going to tell you to use crystals and lemon juice. You know what I mean? Like, here, I'll tell you a tale. A long time ago, I had a friend. He got ringworm on his arm, 2 pieces, 2 rings. And then he talked to some other higher belt, or maybe they were even the same belt at the time. This other flake told him, "Oh, all I gotta do is put lemon juice on it. Just put lemon on it, drink lemon juice, put lemon on it, that'll be fine." And so my friend, he did that for a while. And then the rings on his arm, or the ringworm, they became like, they got to be like the size of English muffins. There was 2 of them, like here and here. And I will never forget, his arm looked deformed. Like it looked like someone had remember that scene, I guess, from Casino, where the guy smashes the guy's hand with a hammer or something? It looked like that, except it was his arm. Like it looked like deformed, And it wasn't anything to do with the bone. It was just the flesh of the arm and stuff. But I was like, dude, that is terrible. Go see a doctor. And then he went and saw a doctor, and I'm pretty sure the doctor gave him some oral medication, and then he was gone for 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Well, my point is, if you think you're rocking ringworm, go to your doctor, go to your pharmacist, and get get something to get rid of it. Don't go talk to some flake that tells you to put a, crystal under your pillow. That's, no, man. Just, for the sake of your team, don't. Oh, and by the way, there's different medications you can take. There's lorazepam, I think, is one of them. Or maybe lorazepam is an antidepressant. I don't know. I'm not a pharmacist. There's Lamisil, there's Lotrimin, there's clotrimazole. And the one I use when I get it is actually not to be found in the skincare aisle. It is in the lady care aisle. This is clotrimazole 2%, and it works super well. And I'll tell you why. Because clotrimazole 2% is actually made for people, ladies, that have a yeast infection in their lady part. Now, remember what I said about ringworm or fungus and where it grows? It grows in a place where there's humidity, no fresh air, no sunshine, you know? Now, I'm no lady, but I've seen, you know, I know what a lady part looks like. And it's, you know, it's perfectly designed for, anyway, whatever. My point is, this is the stuff that if a lady says, hey, I'm rocking some, you know, fungal thing down there, this is what they give them. Clotrimazole 2%, not 1, 2. And it works really well on ringworm. You know, if you use this, you can get rid of it in about a week, which is pretty good. I mean, before this, I used something called Fungacure, you know, years ago, the last time I had it. And that would take about 10 days to like get rid of it, like totally gone, you know? So anyway, don't put lemon juice on it. If someone tells you to use hemp soap or, you know, don't. Follow the advice of medical professionals. How long should you stay away from your academy? Like I said, you want to stay off the mats until it is totally gone, right? You don't want to stay off the mats until it's probably gone or mostly gone or like, hey, it's probably, you know, no. Do yourself, do your team a favor. Stay off the mat until it's gone. You can do other exercises. Go jogging, go swimming, you know, go hiking, go get out in the sunshine and the fresh air, you know? You don't got to be getting all funky wonky with your teammates while you're rocking you know, a skin thing, a fungal skin thing. No, man, you know? Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, but stay away and don't cover it up. Like I said earlier, don't be, you know, a Trojan horse, you know? Like a month ago or whatever, there was some guy that came to class, and he had some tape that was wrapped around his wrist quite high, like up here. And I'm like, okay, that's not on the joint of your wrist. Like, having tape around here is a different, you know? And I go, hey, what's going on there? And he's, I got some ringworm, but I got it covered. I'm like, that is not acceptable, man. Like, that doesn't, maybe it decreases the chance of passing it along to someone else by 10%, but there's still excellent chance you're going to pass it along to somebody else. Because when you're doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling, even judo, you're sweating, they're sweating, you're getting all, you know, intimate or whatever it's called, you know, like if you had athlete's foot, and if someone said, hey, I have really bad athlete's foot, can we rub feet together? Can we play footsie? You'd be like, totally no. If someone had like jock itch, it's like, hey, I've got like wicked bad jock itch. Can we rub our groins together? You'd be like, absolutely not, you know? So if someone said to you, hey, you know, I realize this is jiu-jitsu, and we're going to try and arm lock each other and choke and throw and all this stuff. And you're like, yeah, okay, fine. But also I have this like, you know, potentially, you know, really bad skin fungal thing going on that I might give to you. Is that okay? Nobody's going to say yes to that. That is not part of the agreement. You're going to be like, no, man. Like, go play some tennis. Go play a sport that doesn't involve being in contact with somebody. You know what I mean? So to repeat myself, it's a me versus we situation. And you need other people to get better at jiu-jitsu. So do what is best for the team. And ultimately, that is what's best for you, right? And that means don't train when you have ringworm. Stay away until it is totally gone. Anyway, I think that's all I have to share. If you have any questions or comments, you can post them on below my little video here, or if you want to send me an email, jeffjitsu@hotmail.com. Take care.